I want to thank you essentially for the good work you've done in our country, the support you've given to ensure access to health, education, and all the intervention you've done across board. I want to join the states who have not benefited, who are not part of the Seattle Declaration, to particularly plead that Enugu State be included in that team that had that declaration. Now, back to health. Part of what we know is a major challenge with vaccination is lack of data. Because on assumption of government a few weeks ago, we tried to look through what has been the major challenge. We realized that you don't have effective registration of deaths and births. So when you don't have birth registration in rural areas, essentially because of lack of information, lack of education, and poverty, it becomes difficult for the primary healthcare institutions to track down the line the births so that you can go, community health service officials can go to those communities to talk to mothers and bring vaccine to them. So we are trying to set up a structure that will start with birth registration. We also understand that most of our communities don't have functional formal address, so that even when you try to keep that data, you're not even able to locate streets, even at the local government secretariat, local government areas that are a bit urbanized. So we're also initiating a program with local government chairmen to ensure street naming and address so that we can begin to generate that data. So we'll be asking for help from the foundation to ensure that we're able to put this together, to begin to track the births, to enable us to do follow-up with regards to vaccination. And Mr. Vice President, I'll also be pleading with you for intervention with the leadership of National Assembly. Part of our records we've read suggests that every year our brothers in Parliament, thank God you were also a senator, in their goodwill to try to bring healthcare benefits to our people, every year put health centers and facilities in their constituency projects. But in my view, the health provision is not just the building and the blocks and concrete. It's the manpower that man them, it's the consumables that are there. So if there's a way through your office to intervene with the leadership so that when these budgets are done, they synergize with the governors forum to link up with the states so that if it's in a place where governors, as most of them have worked hard like Bauchi, Bruno, that we've had all the facilities they've built. So instead of putting new buildings, those funds should go to consumables, manpower payment, training, and logistics that will provide healthcare so that we don't keep duplicating buildings that most of them one can access, even when you access them. They don't have, because those buildings they build, they don't have follow-up budget for consumables and healthcare officials that will run those places. So, Mr. Vice President, if you intervene in this, that will be helpful. And I also want to thank Mr. Bill Gates, if what we've read is true, of the support you gave to the Evercare Hospital in Lagos. It has substantially reduced capital flight in this country. The elites who will always fly over to Europe and America for regular health checks now know it has reduced that capital flight and people who travel all over the world from Africa. If you check all the flights leaving Nigeria, people go to India, to Egypt for routine medical checks. Most of them just to run the numbers. But we're pleading that to extend such four-star facility down to east of the Niger in Enugu. Enugu gives an advantage because it's a melting pot of Nigeria's primary health institutions. So the manpower needed to support that facility, you don't need to import. You have the University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital, you have the National Orthopedic Hospital, you have National Psychiatric Hospital, you have Enugu State's own University of Medical and Applied Sciences. So the manpower need to support such 4 or 5-star hospital in Enugu is readily on ground. It will reduce the overhead and it will make it less costly in terms of running, but we need it desperately. And if you check from Enugu all the way to Gwagwalada, if you're driving by road, there is no referral center in that belt. So such a 4 or 5-star facility in Enugu with an airport right there will bring our people from even West Africa. It will help, aside Nigeria, it will also help move down to Africa. Now, in the area of agriculture, the government in Enugu is currently trying to create special crop processing zones across the 3 senatorial districts. Because our people are farmers, basically that's the strength of the economy. You've done so well, you've done so much investing in research. When you spoke to us this morning, we picked the investment you've done with international, with the IITA in Ibadan and all that. But it's now time we need help to draw in the commercial farmers who will come to invest and produce and enable us process this, add value to them. And that the trickle-down effect will be huge, because if, in all these areas of interest, you have intervened. If you don't have an economy of a people who earn income, who are able to access them, it will still be a far cry from achieving the purpose. So we're pleading for investment in special crop processing zones so that the value chain, economic value chain to trigger will be huge in packaging, in logistics. And Enugu has an international airport. Recently, we found a man with 20 hectares of land next to runway who is willing to partner with an investor that can set up a processing facility around the airport. With the cargo airport next door, it will be easy to export all over the world, and the foreign exchange can come into it. The education you invested in, I want to thank you. And of course, we have incubation centers, ICT incubation centers. There's actually a Nigerian investor who set up an ICT incubation center in Enugu. He provides fintech services to most banks in Nigeria. And I'm happy to announce that most of the program they now sell to those banks are produced locally. But they have challenge with reliable internet and all investments. So even when you get the Elon Musk Starlink, it's still a challenge. So we'll be needing help on optic fiber and all we can, so that educational institutions will have access to internet for effective research, teaching, and learning. So I want to thank you so much for all you've done for our people, and may God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you.